became members of the Nation of Islam. There, and it wasn't Elijah Muhammad, but it was a person who came to the United States from the Middle East, whose name was Farad, F-A-R-D, Muhammad. And he changed because we actually, and I know you know, we had our slave masters' names, right? Mm-hmm. So it changed it from the slave masters, especially the last name, more importantly, the last name than the first name. And so that's how we got the name of Jardan, but it was Jordan, 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 but then it was changed. So, and I've used that all my life. It's on my birth certificate, Dolores Jardan.
So it was your grandparents who changed it to Jardan?
No, not my grandparents.
Fard Muhammad?
Yes.
It was Fard Muhammad who changed it for her grandparents.
That's what I was getting at. Your grandparents knew Fard Muhammad.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Well, but see, he came to the United States. My grandparents never left Mississippi.
Your father's grandparents was Jordans. Your father became Jardan.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
That was when Farad Muhammad gave him that last name.
What year were you born?
Where was I born?
When?
1935.
So you were born in 1935 in Chicago while your other siblings were born in other places.
Yes, but they were with us, you know.
They were obviously your parents
they moved
traveled.
When my mother and father moved, they took their children.
Yeah, they took their children. So they went to all these places before they ended up in Illinois.
Yes.
Do you know why your parents moved around?
I guess my father was trying to find a suitable place where he was not going to be bugged by these Caucasians because he would have been killed because, you know, he didn't tolerate that. And one of my sisters told me that my father was very protective of his children. And so I guess he had to move where he felt comfortable and that his children were safe. That is my assumption. I met Ronald in 1959. Oh, no, 1960.
Oh, wow. You met him in Chicago, right?
In Chicago, yeah. I was at a function. I was a member, I worked for the Nation of Islam for a few years.
In Chicago, you were working for the Nation of Islam. What was your job?
I was secretary of work. He was from Boston. That's where he was born. He lived in Los Angeles for about, I know he lived here for one school year because he brought his oldest nephew with him and he went to school. The oldest nephew went to school out here. So he really liked California. We got married in 1960. Let's see, about 6 months after I met him.
Oh, okay.
So he knew what he wanted.
Yeah, and then you married and moved to LA.
Yep.
Where did you get married?
Chicago. Got married in Chicago on August 28, 1960. We got a flight out of Chicago, came to LA same night.
I see that they've said things like blazing gun battles. I think is one description of what happened. And you know, did you see any of that? And you knew that wasn't true because they were never
Wait a
armed.
minute, all the people had guns were the police.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
true.
what are they lying about? The Muslim brothers came up out with guns? No, the only people who had guns were those crazy policemen. I was inside the temple. Ronald comes from upstairs. That's where Secretary of Stuff was taken care of. And he says, there's all this commotion out here. I'm going out here to see what this commotion is about. Just wait here for me. That was it. That was the last thing he said to me. And I didn't even know that he was dead. He had been shot, because after that, a brother came into the temple, told all the sisters to go out the back door and go over to his house, because he and his wife lived down the street on 53rd and Main. So the sisters, we went over there. And after I got there, some brothers came and picked me up. We're going to take you to that big county hospital out there on State Street or something.
General Hospital?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take you there. They didn't tell me why they were taking me or anything. I thought, okay, so I left my baby there with the sisters. And I went with them to the hospital. Then when we walked up, I guess they told us what room to go to. And when we walked up there, the policeman came to and said, oh, who's Miss Stokes? I said, I'm Mrs. Stokes. And he says, your husband is dead.
Just like that?
That's just like that.
Caucasian?
Woo.
Was it Caucasian, Jim?
Yeah, it's Caucasian. So he goes, you need to stay here all night. I said, I looked at the people who brought me there, you know, the believers. I said, I'm not staying here. Let's go. And we left. Then the next big decision was, okay, here she is. She's young. She's got a baby. Her husband is deceased. Where do we go from here? And his family said, okay, we need to talk about it, because this is absolutely too much for you to handle. Mm-hmm. So we want to take the baby to Boston for a while. So you, get some stability in your life. You can't deal with all this, which I thought was so nice of them. Mm-hmm. You know, they took her to Boston.